Today I want to talk about the topic that people talk about in Canada right now. Would Canadian real estate market crash in 2021? Well, real estate is always one of the main topics in Canada because a lot of people invest in real estate, a lot of people buying, selling houses. Average Canadian, they move every 5 years because of work, because they want to have a bigger house, they want to move, or they want to sell their house because their kids already left and they don't need such a big house, they want to downsize. So topic of real estate is always hot in Canada. And this year especially, last year was crazy. It was actually crazy in terms of real estate as well, because a lot of people were seeing a huge downside. A lot of people were seeing a big drop in Canadian real estate market, but this didn't happen. I want to mention that I'm going to talk mostly about Ontario and Toronto area. We live here and we know what's going on here. I can't talk much about what's going on in Quebec, Montreal, or British Columbia, Vancouver, or any other provinces. So mostly I'm going to be talking about Toronto right now and Toronto area. As you may know, Toronto area and Vancouver area are biggest and the most expensive real estate markets in Canada, and prices are really crazy. So a lot of people were anticipating that during 2020 they will see a huge market, real estate market collapse. They will see a huge housing market collapse in Toronto particularly, but surprisingly enough, it didn't happen. There was some slow period and some drops in some areas, but in general, it didn't happen. And even more, during summer, the market was crazy. People were bidding to get the house. There were multiple offers in place. People were paying over asking price to get the house they want, the house they need. One of the major things why it happened, because the interest rate was low and it's still low. So that drove sales significantly. And I think another thing why that happened because of uncertainty and people who had some money, they want to buy. And some people, they want to sell because they saw that market is growing. So here in Toronto, we saw some slowdown during end of March and beginning of April, but starting May, the market was crazy. And even in December, there was a lot of deals going through Toronto Real Estate Board. So saying that, I want to share some perspective about Canadian real estate market, especially here in Toronto. When we came here in Canada, it was 2010, and the prices, in our view, prices were really high for housing. After a year or so being in Canada, we were start thinking about buying something for ourselves, and we were looking for a place to buy a condo or townhouse. We bought our house in the end of 2014, if I remember correctly, and since then our house here in our small community where we live doubled in price, at least doubled in price. I think it's worth even more. And of course, we're still paying mortgage. We still own the house. We still live in here, and we're not planning to sell it because we bought it for really affordable price, and we're happy about that. But the thing is, we had some friends who always was talking about market crash in Toronto, and they always were talking about that soon. You will see soon it's gonna crash, or really soon it's gonna crash. Next year it's gonna crash, or in 2 years it's gonna crash. And we live here for more than 10 years already, and it didn't crash. Of course, there are some ups and downs. You have to consider this. Sometimes there's a low inventory in market, and people start getting houses, start bidding, and start paying over asking to get the house, and that's what it calls seller's market. When seller in favor, you can sell your house for top dollar. But sometimes there's a buyer's market, when is plenty opportunities, plenty homes on the market, plenty inventory, and at this time you have an option to buy for a reasonable price. You have an option to buy house more by your terms than by terms of the seller. So you have to watch for this. If you're looking to buy something in Canada, especially in Toronto area, you have to look for those ups and downs. Like, for example, right now, in the beginning of 2021, the rent market is really good. It plumbed, and the prices are more affordable right now to rent. Whether before it was crazy and you had to pay more over asking again to get even to the rental place. So now, if you look into a rent, it's a good time to find yourself a decent rent. But and let's say for condo market, if you're looking for to buy a condominium, again, it's a good time right now because the prices are cheaper. Prices on condo plumped a little bit, not too much, but a little bit, and that's a good time to buy right now, to buy a condo right now. But prices for townhouses and houses are not as affordable, and they grow, and in some particular areas people are fighting to get into the place, to get into the house. I don't think there's gonna be a huge collapse in the housing market in 2021 particularly. I think the economy probably wouldn't be that great because of coronavirus, because of lockdowns. But still, we have a lot of people coming to Canada, a lot of new people coming here every day. And even now, immigration is still going on and people are still coming. And those people, potentially in a few years or 5 or 10 years, they gonna be buyers. They're gonna be buying a place for themselves. And this is where Canada stands strong in real estate market, I would say. Of course, there are some areas that it's kind of crazy already, like Vancouver, and what I read in news that it's that Vancouver market is not as strong as it was before. But still, if you're buying for yourself to live, not for investment too, if you buy right now, there is a big chance that in a few years you still will have your money, or you will earn even more. That's what I see over the years. That's what I see when I'm talking to people who live here forever, who live here from childhood. It's always growing. Sometimes it's steady growth. Sometimes it's really high growth. Like 2017 was a crazy real estate market. Then it plumped a little bit, but it was still more than it was before. So even with all those ups and downs, a market's still growing, and that's what it stands right now. And you just have to watch, read the news, see those patterns, what people are talking. It's just some things that you have to understand when you're trying to buy something here, when you want to buy. When the market is strong, when the market is great for buyers, that's probably a good idea to buy at this time. When the market is strong for sellers, that's probably a good idea maybe to wait, or to see, to look for other areas, not the hot areas. Because again, sometimes you can buy something cheaper, but the more quality, better house with better finishes, more land, but it's gonna be further from Toronto, let's say. And sometimes you can find a dump in Toronto, and you will pay the same money that you will pay for almost like a mansion in area outside of Toronto. So those things you have to consider when you're thinking about buying something here. And this is my opinion, this is my thoughts about the real estate market, what we will see. I used to work in the real estate field for more than 7 years in Canada, so I wasn't a realtor as well. I was doing marketing, but as I was doing marketing, I was doing a lot of research about real estate, so there's some perspective that I want to share with you. Let me know what you think about real estate in Canada. Would it crash, or would it be strong in 2021? If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye now.